Today we celebrate the solemnity of Christ the King, which brings us almost to the close of the ordinary time season, which also means that we're embarking on Advent. Christ the King and the Feast of Christ the King. And before we get all high and mighty about declaring Christ the King, the general of all Christians, being a military leader for our country or for the planet, as many have in the past, he tells us, and he tells us plainly, you'd have to be a moron if you couldn't see it. He tells us that his kingdom is not of this world at all. And Jesus is the God, however, who created the universe, the cosmos, and everything. But even in the gospel today, when Pilate's questioning him, are you a king? He doesn't say, yes, I am a king. He says, I've come to bear witness to the truth. You say that I'm a king. Fine, that's your opinion. The truth is, we as Christians kind of bend, we like to bend things in the Gospels. We like to bend things that Christ teaches to fit into the way of our thinking. And over the centuries, clergy and laity contort and bend the words of Christ as if they were like a pretzel. A lot of times to fit our crooked lives, to be honest. We take one line out of what Jesus says and we say, wow, look at that, he said this. But you don't go before or go after to see the heart and the spirit of that word. Even directors and producers, it's funny, David Martins and I would talk about this many times. Directors and producers in movies, it used to drive him nuts because they give Jesus an English accent, a real high English accent, to be honest. Always there with the blonde highlights, blue eyes. And painters over the last 2,000 years give a version of Christ that has no truth at all in reality, but it makes us feel good anyway. We like that picture of Jesus. So we put it up on the wall, and it looks nothing like him. It is not truthful, a truthful depiction, to be honest. What Jesus looks like, what he taught, his message that came here for us has been, through the centuries, distorted, mangled. In truth, he did not come to be our general or any type of temporal king. He is king, and always will remain king, but not of this world. There is a king of this world, and we know who that is. At Bible study this week, we had a lot of different questions, from limbo to other interesting questions. And I realized after Bible study, actually before, that as kids growing up were fed, spoon-fed a lot of propaganda by the church. And unfortunately, this propaganda is so deep within us, you can't tell us any different. We'll argue with you until we're blue in the face about limbo, whether it exists or exists, whether St. Christopher is still a saint or is not a saint, and so many things that we have been taught. Truth, like beauty, can be in the eyes of the beholder, as they say. Mankind has been in dispute about what truth is since the beginning, and we see this with Pilate. If you look at the next sentence, and they did a real poor job, I think, people who edited this gospel today, because he asks, right at the end of all this, he asks, what is truth? And that's probably the most important thing of the whole gospel account, that whole thing between Pilate and Jesus. What is truth. What is truth? Do you know what truth is? Do you? You have an idea what truth is? Well, the response will be usually what a person has experienced in his or her life. That's truth for them. And what our understanding of reality is, that's usually our truth, what we understand as people. But there is a lot of variance of opinion which is different for each person as to what truth is. Humanity has been missing the defining meaning of absolute truth, something that should mean the same for every human being alive. Truth should be a standard, one standard. Our dictionary gives us, the Webster one anyway, gives us a definition of what truth is. And it says, the real facts. Not alternate facts or an alternate reality. The things that are true cannot be one way or another. Without a singular standard, especially in our country to live by, humanity lives in chaos, complete chaos. We have no more standards at all. They've been thrown out the window. And chaos reigns right now. Because not everybody is on the same page. And there's a whole multitude of issues that we could go through, but no, not everybody's on the same page. But there is one truth. Particularly when there are multiple standards. Jesus Christ, we've learned, is the way, the truth, and the life. I wonder how he feels today, even about Christ the King feast, a title we assign him. Because you won't find in the scriptures that he wants anything to do with power at all. And politicians and kings do. That's just part of the package. Jesus wants none of this. So I really wonder sometimes, he's all that happy about this feast of Christ the King, and maybe how we've distorted it. For he is truly a king, but not of this world. While there is a desire for harmony in churches, we can't reach peace with each other, especially people who call themselves Christians. It's so bad that in the United States, and I looked this up yesterday, that there are 41,000 denominations in the United States alone. 41,000 denominations. And why is this? Because nobody can decide what is true and what is false. Add to this the difference in other religions of the world, and you'll find vast confusion about truth and what it is. Sometimes war is blamed on religion. We may all well say that war is blamed on God. Because religion and God, how can you separate them? So if we say that war is blamed on religion, we blame war on God. Although it's not religion or God that causes war, it's humanity's insistence that a particular way to live is absolute, and all others should adhere to what we believe, even as Christians. Every combatant, any terrorist, domestic and international, believes the truth to be the right one, their truth. And it should be the winning one. And everyone should apply their truth. We see this in Afghanistan and many countries throughout the world. It is true. You can't deny it. You can't hide it. You've got to face it. That we are a warring society. And by society, I mean all of humanity, not here just in the United States. The U.S., however, is a place we call home. a place we love, a place we cherish, a place we would not want to be in any other nation. The U.S., however, was built on blood when we fought the Revolutionary War. Lots of blood was spilled during the Revolutionary War, if you remember from your lessons. And that founded the country. All this blood founded the country. And then in the 1860s, we had a bunch of states that wanted to secede from the Union. They had an idea that what they were doing was better than what everybody else was doing. That they were right and everybody, the whole world was wrong. And this, as we know, ended with the Civil War. This was a bloodbath, the Civil War. Just one battle, the Battle of Gettysburg, 23,000 Union soldiers perished. Another 28,000 Confederate soldiers died. That was 1/3 of Lee's army. Incredible, in one day at the Battle of Gettysburg. Blood ran into the streets. Our country is built on blood. You see, if we have no external enemy anymore, we don't have an external enemy out there, we turn on each other, creating civil war in our society. So when we have nothing to fight, we fight each other. We spilled blood in Europe in World War I and World War II in the 20th century. The fanatical dictator spilling Jewish blood until it ran red in the streets of Germany. And as the Germans put that blood on their face, they were proud of what they had done. They were proud in their nation and what it had accomplished. The killing of 6 million Jews and countless others. Blood ran in Germany and throughout Europe. And fanatics, crazy people, stormed the cities of Germany and took over. And we ended up with Adolf Hitler, a crazy, lunatic, fanatic. And they loved him. They absolutely loved him. Not everybody, but most people did. Most Germans did. And on a personal level, if there are no conflicts, even within our own life, we make events happen through drama, through lots of drama in our lives. Social media is a great example where everybody can be and take part in a great soap opera. That's why I left Facebook. It's nothing but a soap opera. One big soap opera. Well, I like the pictures. You like the pictures, that's nice. Well, doesn't your family have pictures they can share with you on a phone? Facebook, a great idea that went awry. A wonderful large soap opera. We know what people ate. If I went on there this morning, I could tell you probably what most people ate, where they went last night, where they're going today, and where they're going all week. I said to Michael, I don't give a damn, I'll be honest with you. If you ate crumpets or bagels, I really don't care. And that's part of the reason why I left. I care about you, but I don't give a damn about what you ate, or what you have, or what you drive, or where you live, or if you're throwing a party and you have 1,000 people at it. I don't care. I really don't care. I care about you, but all these material things, it doesn't interest me one bit. Not a bit. We really live out our conflicts vicariously, even in sports, especially in our country more so than others, football teams. I remember almost, my father had some uncles over, and one of my cousins, Chris Lynn, was getting in a scuffle over the Giants in another team. Almost to a fist fight. We fight over race car drivers. Even professional wrestling. People believe it's real and they will fight over it. When I was a kid, we fought about if Chief Jay Strongbow was way better than Fuji and Tanaka. And people would get in fights, even in high school. Craziness. We are all brainwashed to an extent when it even leads to our sports. Sports is a great thing, but when you take it to the point where it brings on violence, we're back to the days of the gladiators. But people love that. They absolutely love it. Movies and video games portraying violence as a modern norm, and it shows how much we love conflict. The other night I was trying to watch a nice movie, and I should have went to the Hallmark Channel, but I was trying to find a nice movie, and I couldn't find one without murder, violence, guns, rape, on and on. I just kept looking and looking. Now, I'm not saying I never watched a Bruce Willis movie. I like Bruce Willis. But when you can't find one movie, one, in all of Netflix, something's wrong with society here. I would venture to say that probably 90% of movies are violent, except if you tune into the Hallmark Channel, which Sheila calls me to do. The year that President Kennedy died in 1963, well, it was a tough year, but a group of people, social engineers, politicians, and military leaders in our great and beautiful country did a sampling of the people's desirability for peace. They asked the question, do people in the United States, they weren't worried about anywhere else, but do people in the United States, and these are great thinkers, desire peace? And after studying it, they came out with this report the same year that Kennedy was assassinated. The conclusion was that our society needs war to be satisfied, and that's how they ended their report. You can look at that report if you'd like. It's right in the report, if you want to read it, the facts. People do not desire peace. People want conflict, not peace. They want drama, and lots of it, not calmness. They want a loudmouth, but never a peacemaker. And that was their findings. We love war, and I cannot lie. We've had wars over the last 100 years. We love it so much that we have a war on poverty. We have a war on drugs, all that failed. These all were planned out to satisfy our desire for war. We understand war, we understand conflict. Now we have a new war. It's a war on immigration. War on the poor, because that's part of immigration. Take a hard look at it. And finally, the biggest war that we will ever face is the war on truth. Make no bones about it. The war on poverty, the war on drugs, we're still fighting, and we will never win it. But isn't there a better way? Can we not find a way to get rid of this conflict, this drama, this division? Is there truth that we can all accept without force of war of any kind? There is an establishing a truth that leads to love, and it's coming. It's coming with Advent. We're getting ready for it. We're getting ready for that truth. We're getting ready for I am the way. John the Baptist will usher it in. I am the truth. He says it. I am the truth. He could have said, I am the only truth, and he would have been correct. Because, my brothers and sisters, Jesus Christ is the only truth that we have and hold on to. Jesus warns us, I think it's in the Gospel of Matthew, from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven has been administered by force. He's telling you exactly how it is. The kingdom of heaven is being administered by force through religion. And only those in power control it. So force has been used to bend mankind's thinking, even in religion. But now, because as Catholics, Advent and the arrival of Christmas is coming very, very soon. I hope your shopping is on its way. And the arrival of truth will change if we accept what God has to offer. If we accept what He has to offer. The law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came from Yeshua, Jesus Christ, the Messiah. Truth, as presented and represented by Christ, is the way to live, and grace helps us bridge the gap between arriving in our truth and living it out in our life. You can arrive at it all you want. You can understand truth all you want, but if you don't apply it, what the hell is it worth? Truth alone is difficult for mankind, it's difficult for our country, but when grace and forgiveness is added, truth is tolerable. Not only tolerable, but beneficial for all humankind. For it is only, my brothers and sisters, the truth of Jesus Christ that will bring lasting peace, lasting love, togetherness, union, not confederacy, union, only through the peace of Christ. As we prepare ourselves for the Advent season, ask yourself every day during Advent, what is truth and what is bullshit? Ask yourself that. What is truth and what is BS in your life? And hopefully by Christmas, peace will reign in your heart and truth will be your standard. Amen?
Amen.
Amen.